PFF mock draft coming at you here on NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz, Tom Downey. We're going to walk you through their latest mock draft, give you our thoughts on it, and there were some pretty crazy things that happened in this one. So, Tom, you are an NFL draft guy. This is like draft day for you. Walk us through this.
Yeah, number one, doesn't need to spend much time on it. Trevor Lawrence, next.
At pick number 2, the Houston Texans.
A trade. So PFF here included Deshaun Watson going to New York, both of the Jets' first-round picks and other stuff they didn't mention going to Houston. Houston finds their new franchise quarterback in Zach Wilson, who goes over Justin Fields, who doesn't have to wait very long because he goes number 3 as part of another trade. Miami Dolphins move down. They acquire this pick from the Carolina Panthers.
I like it.
So it's Wilson and Fields at number 2 and number 3, which I think in terms of which quarterback ends up going number 2 in this year's draft, that's going to be the debate. Zach Wilson this year was awesome.
Yep.
Now, he also bailed on every clean pocket he ever had. It also didn't matter because he was great on the run and great outside of structure there. Justin Fields, meanwhile, had a much better supporting cast around him.
Yep.
I've also seen him play at a high level longer than I have seen Zach Wilson play at a high level because Wilson wasn't that great in 2019. So it's a really interesting back and forth there in terms of who ends up going where.
So I picked number 4, the Atlanta Falcons. I think they get an absolute steal here. The best offensive tackle in this year's draft, Penei Sewell from Oregon.
I really thought they were going to go 4 quarterbacks.
Because
you can make the argument for it.
Sure, but I definitely think that this is the right thing. I'll tell you what, though, if that happens, Cincinnati, they'd be pretty bummed that they couldn't get Penei Sewell for Mr. Joe Burrow. Yeah. So the 2 players that we're going to talk about here, and this is actually going to be the pinned comment on today's video. Pick a quarterback. Who's going to be the better one? Justin Fields type JF or Zach Wilson type ZW? So when you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down, look at the very, very first comment, and I want you to reply to it. Justin Fields or Zach Wilson? Let's go now 5 through 8 here, Tom. Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, Trey Lance, Micah Parsons.
Jamar Chase makes a lot of sense for the Bengals. Pair him up with Joe Burrow. Trey Lance to Detroit. You can sit him for a year behind Jared Goff. I'm on board with that, even if they just traded for a quarterback. Kyle Pitts at 6 is interesting.
Like it.
They're bringing over Nick Sirianni, who loved to use 2 tight end sets as part of the Colts offensive coaching staff. You move on from Zach Ertz in this scenario. Pitts and Goddard is the best 1-2 punch line in the NFL. I probably would have taken a receiver, but hey, whatever. You're getting a playmaker. That's fine there. Micah Parsons, meanwhile, I don't love that pick at 8. And I am not sold on Parsons personally, and I think with the way the board fell here, take Devonta Smith. Yep. He was there for Miami, and then take a linebacker later. I think if the Dolphins had done that, they would have been much happier with their haul.
So what spot is the first defender taken? So here in this mock draft, Tom, the first defender was taken at number 8 by the Miami Dolphins. I'm with you. I think that a lot of Dolphins fans would also agree that, hey, we would probably end up taking a guy like Devonta Smith. But go down, let us know what spot is the first defender taken. Let's go picks 9 through 12. Which ones really stand out to you?
I think this is a pretty good grouping here. I'm a big Caleb Farley guy. Feels a big-time need for Denver. I don't love the Rashawn Slater pick. I would have taken Surtain there, but if the Cowboys don't like Surtain and or they're worried about the offensive line, okay, I get it. Devonta Smith to the Giants, love it. Patrick Surtain to the 49ers, love it. 2 of, I think, of the best picks in terms of drafting for that specific team with who was left on the board. I'm not convinced they will both be there respectively, but if they are, great picks by New York and San Francisco.
So Tom's post-Super Bowl mock draft, it is coming soon. PFF, they're decent. But Tom's the best in the business, and we want you guys to be able to stay up to date on all of his awesome mock drafts. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel so that way you don't miss them. I mean, I've never seen Tom more happy than when he comes into work and they're like, can you do a mock draft for us?
Yes.
It's a done deal. Heck, this dude was making videos on his off day on Sunday around the freaking draft.
Senior Bowl,
he loves it. So subscribe, youtube.com/JatSportsTV. Let's go picks 13 to 16. Christian Darrisaw, Kwity Paye, Jalen Waddle, Barmore at 16.
I like the fit for Darrisaw in LA. They need a new left tackle. Kwity Paye makes a lot of sense to me in terms of like what the Vikings are looking for.
I think this is like a pick what they wanted to try to get out of a guy like Downey.
They love 3-cone drills, and Kwity Paye is like the best 3-cone in history for a defensive end if the workout numbers are to be believed. Jalen Waddle, the Patriots, wow, a playmaker at receiver. Imagine that. I'm fine with Christian Barmore. I don't know if that's the biggest need for Arizona, but it's fine.
Now let's go to the Las Vegas Raiders, taking edge rusher Gregory Rousseau from Miami. He opted out in 2020, but 15.5 sacks in 2019, which is definitely pretty impressive.
A bit deceptive in terms of how, translatable that is to the NFL,
Sure.
but he strikes me as a guy that John Gruden would love. By the way, I have a theory. Gruden does the first round, and Mayock gets the rest of the draft. That's my current theory.
Well, then they need to change that. All right, let's go to pick number 18. We got Rashad Bateman, Minnesota receiver, going to Miami.
See, this is why I didn't like Miami passing on Devonta Smith. You could have Devonta Smith and any linebacker probably not named Micah Parsons here. That would have been a better strategy, I think, from Miami's perspective. So I like Rashad Bateman. He's a good football player. I know the guys over at PFF are higher on him than like the general consensus. So I don't hate it here at number 18. But it kind of feels like they just took the best player left on their biggest need, which is wide receiver in this case. So I don't love that for Miami.
Another quarterback going off the board, Mac Jones, heading over to the Washington football team.
I mean, they need a quarterback, right? Like, no disrespect to the rotating group of former Carolina Panthers they had out there. I am just – Mac Jones is such a risky proposition for me. Because I think if he goes in the right scheme and the right system and the right guys around him, he could be great. Like, he could be a really good caliber, like, starting quarterback guy for you. I also kind of think he's just Jimmy Garoppolo, where he's not going to make a lot of plays out of structure on the run, and that gives me major concern with the way the NFL is going.
At pick number 20, the Chicago Bears get some desperate offensive line help. Samuel Cosmi.
Out of Texas, the offensive tackle, the Bears could move on from one of their starters, be it, Leno at offensive tackle. That makes some sense. Cosmi, good, not great prospect, but I feel like this range is about right for him in the end, and it certainly fills a big-time need.
Talking about filling a big-time need, I mean, it's
Nice.
Valentine's Day coming up in 2 weeks. Don't be the guy that misses out. And even if you're a special lady watching this, send the link, chatsports.com/flowers, to your husband, to your boyfriend, to that random guy that gives you that wink on the street. Get some flowers, some candy, some chocolates, some special gifts. We're hooking you up. And 15% off flowers and all the gifts at chatsports.com/flowers. We're going to make sure that we put the link in the comments and in the description. Tom, you were talking about macaroons for 20 minutes before the show.
It was not 20. It was maybe 3.
I mean, if you round up 20 minutes.
That's not how math works.
No, odds are
at
evens.
all.
Tomato, potato. But anyway, flowers, candies. Look at this. They got chocolate-covered donuts on a stick.
I'm a sucker for anything sweet.
Sign me up. I got a huge sweet tooth.
Have you taken care of your Valentine's Day plans yet?
I have not.
Okay, you're in trouble, buddy.
I'm in trouble, that's right. So it looks like I'm going to have to go to chatsports.com/flowers. 15% off flowers and gifts. Just trying to hook you guys up. Get your loved ones something, because even though telling them that you love them is great, who doesn't like a few extra gifts as well? Let's go picks 21 through 24 here.
Kadarius Toney out of Florida. I like him a lot. Interesting fit in terms of basically a T.Y. Hilton replacement, so I'm on board with that, although maybe tackle's a bigger need. I love Azeez Ojulari to Tennessee. Perfect fit. A bit early on Tyson Campbell for me. J.C. Horn was on the board, but okay, traits this pick, by the way, part of that Deshaun Watson Jets projected trade. And
Gotcha.
Kevin Jenkins fills a need for Pittsburgh, so how can I really complain all that much in the end in terms of taking care of your need with a pretty quality prospect?
So let us know, who is your favorite NFL draft prospect? Tom, I'll be honest.
Okay.
My favorite guy has yet to be taken.
Oh, okay.
The more and more tape I continue to watch on one player.
You'll have to let me know who it is, though.
I will let you know.
I think I know who it is.
All right.
I'm pretty
Producer
sure I
Sam
do.
says he knows. If you guys think you know who it is, go down in the comments. But let us know, who is your favorite NFL draft prospect? He's actually on screen right now. Can you predict who it is?
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, you got it. I love him. He's really starting to impress me.
We'll talk about him, and then we'll get to the picks here. The Browns would never. They don't value linebacker, so I would be stunned if they took a first-round backer. But I do think Owusu-Koramoah, he might end up being linebacker 1 for me over Micah Parsons. He fits the modern-day NFL. It's going to depend on where he goes.
Sure.
If you plug him in at middle linebacker and say, go take on blockers, it's not going to go well. But you put him in the right fit and have him do the things he's good at, he'll be a really good football player for you. I love J.C. Horn at 25. I think he should be cornerback 3, so I love that value. Elijah Vera Tucker can play tackle or guard. Ravens kind of could use one of each, and especially I think interior for them
sure.
in terms of that fit. Rondale Moore hasn't played much over the past 2 years, but I am excited to see Rondale Moore play in the Saints offense with Sean Payton.
Okay.
I would rather give Rondale Moore quarterback/Wildcat snaps than Taysom Hill. So,
all right, let's round out this first round of this PFF NFL mock draft. We got Nick Bolton going to Green Bay, Jason Away from Penn State going to Buffalo, Alec Leatherwood, and then rounding it out, the winner of the top college football safety award. It's escaped me. Jim Thorpe?
Sure.
Okay. Trevor Moehrig.
Moehrig's an interesting player. I don't really get his fit with the Chiefs. Like I guess it's a Daniel Sorensen replacement, but you have Juan Thornhill and Tyrann Mathieu. You should frankly be fine there. I like Nick Bolton to Green Bay. We'll see if they actually invest in a linebacker. They haven't always done that. Jason Oweh is a very traitsy and toolsy prospect, but his sack production was non-existent this year. He's going to be a divisive player. And then Alex Leatherwood, I like that pick a lot for Tampa. I kind of don't want Donovan Smith starting anymore at tackle. I think Alex Leatherwood could fill that role or be a pretty good guard for him too.
So we're taking you back to school here. Grade PFF's mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. The way that we normally do grades around here, C is average, B is good, A is great, D, bad, F, you failed. Tom, how would you grade PFF's mock draft?
Probably B minus.
B minus?
The trades made it fun, and there weren't too many terrible picks. I've certainly seen a lot of worse ones.